Welcome to the stream. I'm sorry, we're doing story. You get to hear my incredible voice acting today. I'm sorry, please don't throw tomatoes at me. Thing is, to my great dismay, if I remember correctly, there was a Honglu idea I actually missed out on because I'm just so fucking tired of playing gacha games. I have all these fucking gacha games all the time. Limbuscompany.exe. There we go. I made sure to pre-download everything. I don't think I'm that far yet. I still haven't done the prerequisite intervallo. So I don't know, maybe if I'm strong enough, I'll get through that.
저녁은
Did I not miss anything? Did I not miss it? I could have sworn there was something I missed. Hang on. Oh. Okay, yeah, there it is. S-Corp Chinokun. It's free? Oh. Okay. I know what do. Alright. It's been a while since I've done any voice acting. A funeral was held for Martin and the LCE researchers today. I thought I'd seen more than my fair share of deaths throughout my journey with the sinners. But never before had I witnessed this many people gather in one place to mourn the deceased together. The unfamiliarity made me feel a bit out of place. Am I doing this right? Most of the sinners seemed to be feeling that similar sense of being out of their element as well. Some of them were asking Mirso, apparently the most knowledgeable of them all when it came to funeral process and etiquette, all manner of questions for pointers. Expressing respect is the primary purpose. Hand placement and gesture are unimportant if that objective can be accomplished.
Hey, where do I put this?
Beneath the third pillar to the right. Can't any of you quit chattering for 1 second? Have you all forgotten the instruction to carry yourselves with solemn propriety that befits the occasion?
Cut me some slack. I haven't been to funerals all that much.
I mean, I did tell you to read the manual. I even underlined all the important parts for you.
Sorry, Ishii. The wall of text was just too much for me. My focus started fizzling out from page 30 onwards.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hadn't every sinner here attended a funeral before? Back when we set foot in that grim manor in T-Corp. We love gambling here. Maybe the real Limbus fan was the Rodion we made along the way.
Thou speakest of the funeral held in young Heathcliff's manor, dost thou not? The one bereft of the dead.
Bereft of the dead? I mean, someone had to have died, because there wouldn't have been a property dispute big enough to involve the Ophi Association's notarization otherwise. I've said this time and time again, but it was just an intentional anonymity to prevent family strife.
Intentional anonymity. If the situation was indeed as thou sayest, then there was no helping it, forsooth. Yet, 'tis a pity that the dead wasn't named at their own funeral.
The name of the deceased was... It was Catherine's funeral. She was very dear to Heathcliff.
Wahoo! Gambling!
I have thoroughly reviewed the past 5 years of worth of Manager Esquire. I have thoroughly reviewed the past 5 years of worth of local newspapers pertaining to the matter, yet no such name relevant to the case was identified, Manager. It's fine, Cloakhead. At least you remember. That's good enough, innit? Yeah, it does, kinda. It had to be the Golden Bow's influence. Somewhere along the way, everyone's memories of the event at Wuthering Heights had become warped. The sinner seemed to think that the Golden Bow had always been there in that manner, and that Nellie was coaxed into stealing it by Herman. Linton, in their minds, was now a grieving brother who had been conducting research for his dead sister's sake. Nobody questioned it. Not Don Quixote, not Faust. Every single sinner believed the twisted version of the memory as if it were a proven fact. Heathcliff and I gave up trying to correct them. Instead, we just check in on each other's memories every now and then. Because if there's something that he and I realized, it was that anything tied to Catherine had already been painted over. Every detail gilded and glossed over with the glow of the bow. The point is, how should I put this? The circumstance of that funeral didn't exactly leave us much room to properly express our condolences back then. Who could have expected such a thing? Who could ever imagine? Between Heathcliff running on a rampage and that Hindley guy bent on interfering with the execution of the will. I assume that sort of impediment was pretty common stuff for funerals, but apparently not, huh? No, well, I think it's actually rare to see a place that follows proper funeral procedures. I've traveled around quite a bit myself, but I can't confidently say that I've ever been to a legitimate funeral. The one at Wuthering Heights was one of the more proper funerals, if only for pretending to have a process. They at least prepared a coffin and even had a formal reading of the will. It seems funerals are far from being an everyday custom in the city. Funerals are considered a rather extravagant practice here as well. Corporations are not eager to grant time offs just because an irrelevant someone has died. The price of real estate seldom makes it viable to buy land and erect memorial houses on it.
It's just like real life!
Then, what other options do people usually have?
They used to just leave them where they died. And after one night's sleep, the bodies were gone. Just like that.
Better than paying loads of money to bury them somewhere just to have that stir up a load of daft rumors, eh? Rumors? You know, rumors about there being valuables buried with the bodies, an army and some fancy prosthesis. All that rot. Better let the dead go in peace than to bury them in a grave just for some swords to later desecrate it.
In Hongyuan, people tend to set up graves if they have enough room to spare. Of course, there wasn't a guarantee they wouldn't lose the burial room by the next restructuring day.
Honheim scoffed and hung his head. Dios, foolishness. All of it. Comforting the soul of the departed. Another mendacity. All those funds so carelessly squandered. All for the purpose of furnishing the living with a fragile excuse to cling on. Are those words from his heart, or just something said to convince himself? Yeah, it is kind of actually. This is like the kind of place where lives are just like. Yeah. The city is the kind of place where like lives are. It's like thrown away every day like fucking scrap paper, you know? And whether or not they come back or not is just like completely dependent on how much money they have. The funeral didn't last long. It was just a brief moment of silence, followed by a few quick goodbyes that were shorter still. The ceremony came to a close once Alyssa, who was still in recovery, came to pay her final respects. The flames devoured the coffins of Martin and the other researchers, announcing the end of their existence with a crackle of firewood. So, I suppose you'll be leaving now? Oh, we're staying until Gregor's stable enough to travel. Dante says we'll remain here until Gregor's condition settles. I'm gonna get my water because I left it at my bedside again like a fucking idiot. I had to kind of retire my big water bottle because it started to like smell weird inside out of like nowhere. And drinking from it started to make me feel like sick. I think it's because I poured some antiseptic in it, thinking that like I could just like pour it in and then wash it out. But like a few days after that, it started to smell and taste like really bad and gross. So I'm kind of just leaving it out. I'll probably have to get a new one. Gregor came to his senses again a few days after his unforeseen metamorphosis in the battle against the Thumb Nurse Father. He was given a checkup, and Hohenheim said there's no cause for concern. Physically, that is. The psychological assessment turned up disastrous, to say the least. Gregor was declared unfit for combat deployment for the time being. So you won't be leaving just yet. Good to know. Then I assume you'll be okay with us borrowing Sinclair for a while? Me? Yes, you. The LCE wants to look into the sign you manifested, Sinclair. The higher-ups didn't want to waste a second greenlighting the project. Which means what I'm telling you is more a notice of investigation than a request for permission. Huh? What investigation? What are you... It's just a rather rudimentary instance of human experimentation. Calm yourself. Human experimentation?! Did you really have to put it like that, boss? Not to worry, Sinclair. A swipe or two on your skin, maybe some talk therapy. That's all there is to it. Of course, if we had your consent, the avenues of research could be vastly... No! I'm not giving you my consent! Don't fuck with Greg. For your reference, the other departments have also submitted some quite enthusiastic requests for research and observational purposes. I didn't have any coffee before stream today because I've been having to drink a lot of coffee recently, and I'm worried about the long-term effects of caffeine because it's really not very good for me. Oh, you have no idea. We have to get Boss to fend off the LCA's Mirror World Observatorium department and their hissy fits. They want to be the first ones to get their hands on you and spearhead the research, you see. He's our little hamster boy. Our little German hamster. He's going to crawl between the couch cushions and die.
And had we allowed them, they'd have kept you for a good few months before letting you go. So the least you could do to thank us is be a good boy and cooperate. Just in time! Our researchers are here!
Alyssa waved at the researchers who were filing out of the funeral hall after paying their respects. It wasn't long before Sinclair found himself surrounded on all sides.
Wait! I probably have a way now! Just don't run people to me!
Of course. Stay strong, Sinclair. All I could do was to offer an unspoken encouragement to Sinclair, who sounded ready to collapse into full-blown panic any minute. What about you? You're not going with them? Oh, it's back to the long-term recovery ward for me. I always thought scientific research was the one thing that flamed my passion, but with the recent events having introduced me to the merits of paid sick leave, I realize the time off beats research projects in my book. Marginally. Sinclair is an adult. And I don't think that makes Sinclair happy. It's like that one thing that's like, I need an adult. I am an adult. But it's like invert. It's inverse. Like, I need an adult. Wait, I am an adult. Oh no. Enjoy it while it lasts. I highly suspect that every request for PTO submitted by our department will be rejected for the rest of the year. Well, it's true your average corporation doesn't get more than a week off a year. As soon as Alyssa trudged off with her dragging steps, that's a very different word than charging, the researchers seized Sinclair and carried him, really, away. All right, we should get going too. Oh, do you all have somewhere else to be? Imagine getting PTO under capitalism. Unthinkable. Well, I thought I'd go visit Gregor. I'm worried about him. Got something I set it up with. Go be there for it. I'm going with Sinclair to get some rest. Also to keep an eye on the researchers and stop them if they try anything fishy with the experiments. Let me know later if you need anything, Dante. The sinners fanned out in different directions. They seemed to have their own errands to run during our stay at the LCE. Everyone's busy with their own thing. The only ones keeping me company now are Ryoshu, and filling the air around with cigarette smoke, and Don Quixote, who was sniffing and asking around every corner for Vespa in a valiant quest for the new color fixer's whereabouts. Faust was still here, too, staring blankly into the air. No, you can't fall for the indoctrination! No! Is she accessing the Jessel shaft? You seem to have some time to spare, manager. As I stood there, wondering what I should do to pass the time, Hohenheim, who had apparently finished tackling and signing the stack of papers, walked over to me. This makes things rather convenient. There's something I intend to discuss with you and Sinner Ryoshu. A matter that requires your assistance. What kind of assistance? WKOA, says CH. Wait a minute. Did Ryoshu just step in as my interpreter? It's not that I don't appreciate her gesture, especially since she usually snap at me and tell me to find someone else to interpret whenever the issue came up. But, god damn. I'm sleepy. And I can't help but doubt whether a choice method of interpretation actually accomplishes anything. There is, I must admit, a certain novelty in witnessing the reconstruction of that which requires interpretation into yet another linguistic form equally demanding of it. It would seem we are in need of more manpower. Sir, scratching his head, Hohenheim looked around for a moment before coming to a sudden pause as if no idea had crossed his mind. At the end of his gaze was a certain someone who was busy badgering LCCA employees with their relentless questioning.
Well, Spray, might know where he is if thou knowest not. Now listen closely. The one I seek, the bearer of hair fashioned in the likeness of a bowl.
You there. Why don't you join us too?
Dost thou speak of me?
The LCCA personnel, who were cornered by Don Quixote in a rather forceful interrogation regarding Vespa's whereabouts, took the opportunity and fled the scene without so much as a backward glance the moment their captor had turned her head to answer Hohenheim. Indeed, there is a task that requires your assistance.
But I have yet more words to trade with the most noble yellow harpoon.
You seek to emulate the virtue of chivalry. Does that entail turning down the earnest plea of those in need? For the sake of clarity and distinction, it would be prudent to assign you a different identifier from that of my assistant. You are to be number 2. That is, assistant number 2.
I have not yet concluded mine exchange with the yellow harpoon, but no true knight would abandon those who call for aid. Pray, speak thy quest. How may I be of service to thee?
Delegating the interpretation of the manager's speech to sinner number 4 has proven to be counterproductive. As such, your task will be to report to me what the manager says.
Oh, that is indeed a simple task.
On, Skibbity.
However, this WKOA eludeth mine understanding as well. Pray, allow me but a little time to uncover its mystery.
Relay the manager's words, not Tsunariyoshi's.
They are asking you what kind of assistance you need.
The request for interpretation was not directed to you, but I cannot deny that your meddling, in the present circumstance, is a welcome one.
It was simply that the irrationality and inefficiency of your suboptimal staffing choice and workflow have become sufficiently unbearable. Faust hopes that this was not some guileful scheme devised to elicit Faust's cooperation.
Huh. In any case, manager, this request of mine Shit, I had to do my laundry today! I just remembered that. Fuck. Okay, I'll do it after the stream. In any case, manager, this request of mine concerns an investigation into the back doors located in the House of Spiders. I deem that the two of you should be the ones most familiar with the structure and layout of the house. After all, you were the one monitoring the entirety of the 5-pronged assault operation, and Sinner number 4's familiarity does not bear repeating. Do we go to the House of Spiders right away? HOSRA. You have assisted enough. Perhaps you could help, Faust.
Sure.
Although not word for word, Faust relayed my intention to Hohenheim, who responded by shaking his head. Not immediately, no. There is one more member you should bring along.
One more member?
Seeing me tilting my head, Hohenheim pushed up his glasses. The apprentice who was captured alive in the House of Spiders. Kira. She has regained consciousness.
Yippee! I love Kira!
The place Hohenheim led us to looked less like a recovery ward and more like an interrogation chamber. Though every single medical equipment installed around seemed to be state-of-the-art. This place looks well equipped.
Probably a direct order from upper management. Although technologies to restore lost body parts are common enough in the city, a facility of this kind is required to preserve the original form of her lower body in the reconstruction process, while keeping the cost reasonable.
Reasonable, huh? Do I want to ask how expensive the other options are if this counts as reasonable? A windowless room thick with the sharp scent of medicine and chemicals. Kira was sitting on the bed at the center of the room, kicking her feet as she regarded us. For someone recovering from bisection, she didn't look much different from how she'd appeared when I'd seen her through the Sinner's shared vision.
She was captured alive for the extraction of information, yes? How far along is the progress of the extraction?
Hasn't yet begun, actually. We're waiting until the lines of information that warrant questioning can be isolated. So far, all available personnel have been fully engaged in analyzing the documents and items discovered in the House of Spiders.
Then what you been doing here?
There is work to be done contingent upon information obtainable only from a recent inhabitant of the House of Spiders. And following a discussion with the upper management, I have decided to put you to use as the company originally intended.
No TV, no comic books, just a super prickly glare and a cold shoulder whenever I ask for something to pass the time. And now you suddenly need my help, huh? Give me one reason I should cooperate.
Hohenheim didn't so much as twitch an eyebrow at Kira's biting tone. He merely gave her a nod with a steely, imperturbable expression. I didn't ask for your help. Put you to use, I believe, is what I said.
What?
Your survival is not incidental. It is the result of a calculation. The company anticipates a potential profit by keeping you alive. Expected gain, as the term goes. This is just like having a job in real life!
Oh my god! Wow!
Without such a forecast on the company's part, you would have already been disposed of. The upper management consists of people who would be disinclined to tolerate the daily maintenance and depreciation costs of this room, even at half their current numbers. Which brings us to our next point. Should you insist on maintaining this uncooperative attitude, the company may decide to convene a meeting to reassess your worth, or shall we say, lack thereof, and its projected income statement. We're gonna kill you! Well, suffice to say that such a reassessment would skew heavily against your favor. The outcome would be a recommendation for immediate disposal. Hohenheim always had a way with words that could prickle and sting. But with Kira, it almost felt as if he traded the usual thorn. Hey! Hello all, welcome to the stream. We're reading, yes! Welcome back, everyone. Intent on twisting it right where it hurt.
I'm dead meat as soon as my usefulness... No. I'm dead meat as soon as my usefulness runs out anyway. It's not like you're gonna let me live. Not after I killed a bazillion of your guys.
So you anticipated in some form of corporate level retaliatory response against your person. That is indeed a curious line of reasoning. I mean, there'll be fighting. We'll be fighting. We'll be beating people up. That always happens, I think. Unless there's, like, no battle stages in this content, which is hard to believe. And I must tell you that, unlike your typical backstreet syndicate such as the Middle, corporate entities of the city tend to avoid choices that may incur losses.
The value of the information that could be extracted from an apprentice of the Middle, and the combat prowess honed under the tutelage of a great brother of the Middle. These two considerations are likely what increased your value in the eyes of the company.
I don't know who Rodion is. I forgot. Kind of like that one time back in 2001. What? I forgot.
Ha! You all got zero self-respect, huh?
You should consider yourself fortunate.
Huh? The heck are you on about?
Other companies would not solicit your cooperation by means of a verbal exchange. Your interrogator would simply open your cranium, harvest your brain, and extract any and all necessary information without going through intermediary steps such as this. Even without resorting to such methods, the range of available means to compel the disclosure of information is practically limitless. Truth serums, hypnotic suggestions, electrical shocks and stimulations, and of course, procedures utilizing distortions and abnormalities. That is so true, actually. Bread maxing, bread pilled. That is goat behavior, I think. That being said, the LCE department prefers to distance itself from such uncivilized approaches that may entail complications and after effects. I do hope that we share a similar predilection.
You're so frickin' annoying, you know that, mister?
The feeling is entirely mutual. Leaving the biting chill of his threats to sink in, Hohenheim turned toward the exit. Give her some push and bring her along. I don't quite seem to be myself today. No, disregard that. That, too, was a rather foolish thing to say. I will defer this matter to you, manager. Work of this sort likely falls more within your capabilities than my own. And with that, Hohenheim stepped out of the room, leaving me to deal with Kira. His reaction was understandable. The LCE had only just finished laying its dead researchers to rest. Kira was probably the last person anyone would want to face right now, much less speak to. What should I even say to persuade her? I was still caught in thought when someone, quite unexpectedly, made her way to Kira.
Yoshihide?
You. Heard you got stabbed in the back by Matthias.
That's not true. Papa wasn't landing a fatal blow unless he cut through me, too. That's why he did exactly that. To aim for the enemy's head. Besides, he made the right choice. A little sacrifice ain't a thing in the family.
I do not have the water dripper, unfortunately. It started to, smell really bad. I think I did something wrong. The only thing I can think of is that I've had it for a year or so now, and I poured antiseptic into it at one point to try and, clean it up. So I've got a normal water bottle with me. I'll probably have to get a new bottle. Family coming from him. A middle mutt thrown out of his kennel. Doesn't sound ridiculous even to you?
That's...
Thrown out? That fucker Matthias was a GB only by technicality. He fucked up badly. He was still family by name, but underneath it, everyone hoped he'd disappear quietly on his own. He was that family member nobody wanted around. Same treatment for me, being his brat. It's not surprising it's the ST for the bowl cut, too.
Same tastes? Oh, yeah, you too! Thou hast also dost harbor passionate zeal for fixed...
I quickly clapped a hand over Don Quixote's mouth as she smoothly chimed into the conversation. So what exactly is your point?
Oh, so what exactly is your point?
The point is that you're taking too long. If you can't decide whether you want to live or die, I can shorten the hesitation. CQ, or SYNK, right this instant.
What does that mean?
Cooperate quietly, or I'll snap your neck completely, right this instant. SYNZ isn't such a bad way to go if you're keen on taking that loyalty act straight to the grave.
This is so crappy. Whatever, I get it, okay? I'll talk if that's what you want so bad.
It actually worked?
Things to go out in a blaze of glory aren't actually the strong ones. It's the ones who survive. The ones who live to see another day and keep getting stronger. Anyway, Yoshihide, what's up with you taking in weird-ass abbreviations? Oh, you talking in weird-ass abbreviations. Like, SYNC? That's so random. Who even says that?
Ryoshi didn't bother to reply and simply chewed on the mouth end of her cigarette. Is this really the right call? To her, we're probably people she needs to settle the score with. As if. Half her tattoos are gone, Clock. They even confiscated her book. You think the middle sorry excuse for loyalty means so much if it was for this stray that she'd bite us? Besides, no, better hear it from her instead. Hey, tell me why Matthias kicked the bucket.
That's because Papa was weaker than y'all.
Look, man, here are the facts about Matthias. His cut's fucked up. Thank you for coming to my presentation. Ha. Yeah, you're the jerk's brat, all right. Kira pushed herself up from the bed with a sour face. Really, she didn't argue back. And we called Hohenheim, who had been waiting outside, back in. I assume the prisoner was successfully persuaded. Come, you'll find your weapon on the table. You may use it in the event of an emergency.
What the hell? I can't even shoot it!
You won't be able to use it without authorization. The code has been slightly adjusted. Now then, let us head to the House of Spiders at once. The back door is up and waiting for us. I think you spell it like that, what is it? That one, what is it? That one tool that you use to, use with dirt. I think that's how you spell toe. We made our way to the House of Spiders, with Kira trailing behind us, looking like she was smelling something particularly fishy on us. Okay, what do we have? What is this guy? What's his, skill? Okay, bleed. Burn and bleed. Okay, good. That means technically I think we have full bleed right now. Because Ryoshu, I think, also does bleed. Yeah, bleed. Skill 2, bleed. Red eyes and bleed. Not present in skill 3. Oh, no, yeah, it is. Never mind. I love bleed! I love bleed! Only a few days had passed since our last visit, but the place looked markedly different from what we remembered. Would you rather have burn but no bleed, or unlimited bleed but no bleed? The sight of the hollow, frigid atmosphere and the endless stretch of corridors hadn't changed. This background music, it's like this is like the song they were playing before, but it's had like a bunch of like the a bunch of, I don't know what's called, the cords, I think, removed. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's a really cool choice. It's a lot like simpler now, kind of like how all the art's been taken out and stuff. But Callisto's so-called artworks are now covered in white sheets, and unfamiliar devices were affixed all around the back doors.
Prithee, who might those people thither be?
I don't know. Looks like some shady bastards moved in already. Our guarded reaction prompted Hohenheim to step forward and gesture to one of the oddly dressed figures. It seems introductions are in order for both sides. This is team leader Alan from Wayfarer Company. Will be working with us on the investigation to the house's back doors. Wayfarer Company?
A corporate entity partnered with Limbus Company, responsible for providing portal technology. It has, on prior occasion, been referred to as the new or aspirant W Corp, though the name is an unofficial one.
Among Us in real life? Our employees have also taken to calling you the new L Corp, something we have in common, given that we're both chasing after the same horizon. Huh? Oh, shit. Are we meeting a celebrity? Oh, I remember. That company vying to take W Corp's place, right? The same horizon. He's probably talking about getting recognized as a wing. After all, the old L Corp has already fallen, while W Corp, from what I've heard, is free-falling at this point. And these are the manager and the Sinners of LCB department, our field operations unit, frequently deployed to deal with on-site matters firsthand. They have more personnel, but the rest are tied up with other duties elsewhere. Only a handful will be joining this investigation effort. I understand. Field operations are almost always understaffed anyway. The support you've provided is more than sufficient. Alan gave it up. Nothing. Alan gave an understanding nod. The man slipped off his bulky helmet before extending his hand in greeting. Pleased to make your acquaintance. The name's Alan, leader of Doorbridge Team 4. Likewise. Oh no, he's hot! Oh no, he's kawaii as fuck! What the hell? Before Faust could even relay my reciprocal greeting, words spilled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm, as if my ticking didn't bother him at all, like he was sticking to a script he had rehearsed. I've heard great things about you, Manager Dante of Limbus Company. Okay, hang on, actually, I think they're going to kill him. They're gonna kill him. I'm not... No way around it. No beating around the bush. They're gonna kill him. I shouldn't get too attached. I've heard great things about you, Manager Dante of Limbus Company, and the bus team's performance. You capitalized on the suppression of distortions at T-Corp as leverage to push your products. And the profits were nothing short of staggering, I heard. Suppression of distortions at T-Corp. I mean... Oh, okay. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be distortion resolving specialists to the public. What's that product part about? Yeah, I don't remember any product. Is this guy dedicated to the grind set or some shit?
The manager says it was merely a matter of luck. They also look forward to working with you on this task.
Oh, are you the interpreter? In that case, I'll be sure to consult the manager, only when both of you are available.
Sure.
Faust didn't seem particularly pleased with the role Alan had pinned on her, but she nodded anyway. they would not fucking say that, I guess. Like the Cartman, he would not fucking say that. She quietly came to my side and answered my earlier question while Alan carried on with Hohenheim.
Thy pronouns are they? Anyhow, thanks for asking.
He would not fucking say that. God, I love that image so much. It's so funny.
He is referring to the Monolith Sales Project. The credit was attributed to the LCB at the express request of Mr. Herbert, T-Corp's executive director.
Oh, so that's how the rumor spread, huh?
We've reviewed the agreements. Now, I understand you'll be assisting in verifying what lies beyond the back doors. I'd appreciate if you could share any prior knowledge you have about where these back doors connect, as detailed as you can make them, if you don't mind.
Hohenheim fixed Kira with a pointed look. Though Kira responded by defiantly cocking her head in a show of irritation, she still gave up a sliver of the information she had.
Honestly, I got pretty much nothing about Robo-Unk in his room. I mean, I've seen Albina hit up that door and the other one over there when she was popping out to farm stuff, but...
Farm?
Oh, it's a gathering material.
He's Unk! I see. What kind of material? Robo-Unk. Telling Unk about Unk is crazy.
Human guts and all that. She come back hauling piles of them. So they're probably connected to some backstreets area.
The backstreets? Any more details?
Can you stop bragging? You're low-key pissing me off.
Oh. Now look what you've done. He's got that anime eyeshadow. Just make sure Cromer doesn't find out about him, okay?
What? That's literally all I got, for real.
For a moment, Alan leveled Kira with a stiff expression. And even before I could register what had happened, Kira's head jerked to the side from a sudden punch by Alan. Okay. Brutal Unk. Fucked up and evil Unk? I thought Kira was nimble enough to dodge surprise attack easily. This one seemed to have caught her completely off guard. She stood there blinking, eyes round in rude surprise. Actually, it wasn't that he caught her off guard, it was the motion of the punch itself that somehow felt off. The fist being raised, the arm being extended, the blow making contact. The chain of actions was there, but it just didn't look normal.
Did you just hit me?
Alan hits someone who's like probably half his age, plus 50 aura.
What the hell's wrong with...
As Kira reeled from the unexpected strike, Don Quixote spoke up in a cold, sharp tone.
Thou, what manner of discourtesy is this?
Oh,
with all that whining, I thought the brat could use a lesson to remind her.
Abusive Uncle Award.
I had no intention of damaging your company asset, of course. I simply assumed the level of warning would not be inappropriate in this case. Oh, come on.
You're too cute to be a hyper-capitalist. Come on! Get your shit together! Think of the worker! Team leader Alan. That sort of conduct may not be an issue in your organization, but it is here. Should happen again. Do you understand that we may choose to terminate today's joint engagement without delay?
My apologies. I will keep that in mind going forward.
Alan stood down without arguing back, but Kira looked far from satisfied with how Hohenheim handled the situation.
You have to sock me in the face and walk off scot-free? So frickin' annoying.
Fortunately enough, her grumbling didn't escalate into her lashing out at Alan. He's very cute, but maybe it's okay if we kill him. That punch just now, though. What was that?
It exhibited a behavior that defied the standard laws of physics. Presumably a form of technology utilized by Wayfarer Company.
Let us resume the task at hand. Sinner Ryoshu, give team leader Alan whatever information you have. That door should lead to one of the ring-protected turfs. The other two on the left. I remember they were marked with an X painted with blood. But I, H, and I, where they actually lead. It's all blurry. It seems that's all the information we can provide. Will that suffice?
We now know that the door is likely connected to a perceivable area. That's already a big improvement in terms of intel for Wayfarer Company's backdoor mapping progress. Which means there's less chance of us encountering a space beyond human perception past these doors. Alright then. I'll proceed with connection verification. Which door shall we test first?
We'll start with the one Sinner Ryoshu mentioned.
Ha! Ha! You don't trust me at all, huh? And why even bring me along?
Ignoring Kira's jab, Alan began setting up various devices on the floor, and soon an elegant white door opened before us. Shall we?
Art thou joining us as well, young Hohenheim?
Just this once. There are procedures for handing over field operations. Okay, let's see what's in there. What the? Is this some kind of wildlife exhibit? The moment we stepped in, the lights hit us all at once, drawing squints and frowns from the sinners. Thanks to my lack of physical eyes, I could make out a room filled with statues, or perhaps taxidermied animals. It felt like a gallery of sorts. It was so quiet that the air itself seemed to carry a strange, somber weight. After a moment, someone shattered the silence. Wasn't Don Quixote our usual suspect?
Holy shit! The scale is just insane! That's the whale from Air Association Great Lakes Special Issue!
Kira, who'd seemed beaten down all along, exclaimed with a bit more energy in her voice.
Man, seeing in real life, sure it's different! And the Indigo Elders solo one-shots these monsters with that harpoon of his, huh?
It's a Great Lake whale. Doesn't look like the one we've encountered, though.
Organisms of various sources can be identified here. Singularity modified, outskirts born. Oh, singularity modified, outskirts born.
They look almost alive. They're not, right?
No, they're not alive, but... Duh! The Robo did say that the ring has these zoos where they put monsters on display alive. Man, this would have been way more fun if we could see the moving ones. Everything here's dead. Meh. Still looks really sick, though. The vibe really hits.
Even though she was trying to play it cool, Kira keeps sneaking glances at the massive horn display off to the side, clearly surprised in a way she couldn't hide. That said, I felt a distinct shortage of hyperactivity, given the presence of a certain someone in our party. Oh, my water. Don Quixote? The eye of the second kindred of Austepes. What is it doing here? At the mention of the word kindred, I couldn't help but follow Don Quixote's gaze. Opposite the whale was another kind of exhibit. Contained items leading on the more gruesome side of things, starting with a crimson eyeball that caught Don Quixote's attention, and body parts like hands and bones that looked as though they had been stripped from the human body. It's a gallery of the school of Fauvism. Probably a main studio at that, which comes with a maestro's atelier and an auction house. Alan, we will be making our exit shortly. Prepare to initiate lockdown sequence. Before Hohenheim could even finish his urgent transmission, numerous footsteps closed in from somewhere nearby. Turning toward the sound of shoes clacking on the floor, we found strange figures wearing animal masks, staring directly at us.
That presence. It's kind of like Papa's.
Ain't no way! That's not a raid boss we can clear at our level! We gotta get out of here!
It's not that simple. Retreating is not a viable solution here. The door is connected to the House of Spiders. Escaping without installing a security system will invite pursuit. We must stall them until Alan is ready to initiate the lockdown sequence. As tension thickened, one of the strangers, who wore a peculiar bone mask, stepped forward. The voice that spoke to us carried equal part curiosity and delight. You came through that door. Then the house's fall wasn't just a baseless rumor. A stray little spiderling fallen from her parents' web. How many years has it been? You. Who are you? Oh, right. It makes sense that you would fail to recognize me. I used to wear a different mask back when I used to visit you as your tutor, didn't I? A wolf, if my memory serves right. Yes, that must have been when I was quite captivated by the sensation of tearing into the raw, still thrashing flesh of living prey, and the predator's ferocious yet cavernously resonant howling. Rings a bell. You're that maestro whose whole lesson was a 3-hour sermon praising the intensity of primary colors and the strength of living creatures. Benoit, was it? That's right. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. I don't know how to pronounce the little tilde letters. Emile Benoit. And they say you can't hatch a phoenix from a chicken's egg. Doesn't always apply. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna look how that's supposed to be. Give me a minute. Google Translate. Just in case I have to say it again, I guess. I don't know. Hang on. No, what's the last name again? Also, this music is great.
Emile Benoit.
Okay, so it is just like that. I said it right. Okay. Looks like that mind of yours is still sly as a raven. I could have sworn my phone just buzzed for a text or whatever. Unlike your nurse fathers. Don't presume. I only remember you because the tactility of your hides and guts made for a passable AW. At first glance, it looked like Ryoshu was casually taking a trip down memory lane with the maestro. But I had a feeling she was, in fact, dragging this out on purpose to buy us time. That lockdown sequence thing. How much longer till it's ready? Jotunheim! The lockdown sequence! Don Quixote, who'd been shooting the ring members, incensed glare sparked by the discovery of a kindred's eye, swiftly relayed my words to Hohenheim without even a hint of her earlier shenanigans. I'm afraid the progress and speed of the lockdown sequence lies in Alan's hands, not mine. It is, by its nature, time-consuming work. We cannot expect haste. Perhaps that does make this a suitable juncture to try out Plan A. Plan A? Any suggestions that involve Don Quixote removing her shoes will not be dignified with a serious discussion. Instead, maybe what Hohenheim had in mind had nothing to do with Don Quixote's shoes, because he opened his mouth as though he was about to retort to Faust's categorical rejection. But the moment he followed Faust's eyes and saw what she was looking at, he quietly shut his mouth and said nothing further. Faith in potentiality is not something I dislike. As for this, however, This seems more like grasping at straws. At the end of their gaze was Ryoshu's blade. Arayashiki. I was going to try using it anyway. I've long wanted to see if a maestro's death is any different. Telling her that we were just leaving won't work, will it?
No, it won't. Every individual present here would be quite the fascinating specimen to the artists of the ring. We are practically a windfall of inspiration and material that has so conveniently been delivered to them. It is improbable that they will allow us to return unharmed.
Faust is right. She and Hohenheim are geniuses, and Ryoshu is the wielder of Arayashiki. Don Quixote is a kindred of a higher generation, and I happen to house a golden bow in my head. I have no idea how much information the ring has on us. But even if they knew nothing, they wouldn't let us go easily. Are you sure about this, Ryoshu? Doesn't matter if I'm SAT or not, Clock. Think of that woman as Leihang, and do as you did in HC's mansion. I'll take care of the rest. Right. That's probably our best shot. What Ryoshu meant was quite clear. Resonate with the golden bow, secure an advantage to fight on equal footing, then catch them off guard by slowing down the flow of time. A cut from the Arayashiki, even if it doesn't give us a real fighting chance, might at least stall the maestro long enough to give us the time to get away.
This floor of the exhibit only houses submissions from students and docents. But if you look closely enough, there are some passable ones that show the promise of excellence. And above all, this is the gallery of the School of Fauvinism. And mine, the gallery of Emile Benoit. Which is why I would have preferred to take you without an unnecessary fight, if possible. A shame. Still, we're talking about a unique relic here, a masterless one at that. Acquiring the Arayashiki makes it worth the cost.
If you want a taste. Confusion flickered across Ryoshu's face as she tried to unsheath her blade. What's the matter? How? The lock on the House of Spiders used to bind the Arayashiki no longer exists. So why can't I draw the blade?
Now that's unexpected. So the rumors of you mastering that relic, were they false?
The maestro only gave a loose swing of her arm, but it was enough to make Ryoshu recoil. A shadow of surprise crossed her face. The wound looked like nothing more than a light gash, yet the maestro's contemplative gaze shifted between the blood on Ryoshu's arm and her own, as though the attack had been an experiment to prove a hypothesis. It wasn't hard to guess what she was thinking. Notice, did you?
I had my doubts from the moment I saw you today. Was the House of Spiders a success or a failure? Tell me, Yoshihide, what do you think a serpent's defining strength is?
What do you want about now?
Ask any student, and they'll give the same predictable answers. The deadly venom, the sleek scales. Why, it's lamentably disappointing. The
maestro advanced toward us with an assured certainty, then seized a beige thread dangling from the ceiling. No, calling it a mere thread would be wrong. It was something that resembled a thread, yet felt much more disturbing.
I, for one, have a particular liking for the jaw and the spine. The flexibility of the spine, linked like a chain, and the jaw, bound not by bone, but by ligaments that allow the animal to swallow its prey whole. Perhaps I should have said that I admire their structural refinement.
The thrice-coiled ring on her finger gave up a cold glint, and the walls and the ceiling suddenly began to echo with the sickening squelch and crack of flesh and bones assembling. What the hell is that?
Which brings me to ask, what better way to claim this delivery of promising material with a single bite than a work of art fashioned from a snake?
The maestro plunged her arm into the long, serpentine body of a monster. Her sheer presence radiated a pressure as oppressive as the... Ow, blah. Her sheer presence radiated a pressure as oppressive as that of a nurse father's, only more primal and untempered.
Consider it a privilege. This is the first time this place has ever been exhibited to an outsider.
Hohenheim, is the lockdown sequence still not ready?
1 minute to go! Step aside! The attack from the EGO gear Hohenheim hastily brandished didn't even last a moment. The weapon was knocked from his hand. As I scrambled to equip the sinners with their identities, something abruptly stopped the beast-like appendage midway through its hurtling motion. And the one who intercepted the blow
Shit!
was Kira, struggling to push back against the serpentine arm with her still sealed blades. Kira? Did she suddenly have a change of heart I wasn't aware of?
Shit! This wasn't the plan at all!
Obviously not. She couldn't have changed her mind that quickly. Because the look on her face couldn't be anything other than that of utter regret. Water time.
The middle, For someone who doesn't seem to be a proper member, you've inked quite the quantity of tattoos onto yourself. Ah, you must be the new kit Matthias took in. Why do you stand in my way?
Fucked if I know. I'm already regretting it, alright? Damn it. They're defo gonna ditch me here. Why did I even...
Must be instinct taking over. Couldn't fully shake off the opponent's killing intent, so the body chose to clash head on. So the behavioral facet of the psyche can be controlled with suitable training. Unexpected data, but useful to be sure.
Ah, shut it, mister! Quit yapping! I lose my blades!
Authorized and ready. Lifting locks! Now! Kira's thermal weapons emerged from their sheaths with a metallic clang. She used the recoil of the motion to skid back and assume a defensive stance. Naturally, that broke Benoit's arm from the deadlock as well. The maestro lashed out again with that monstrous limb, but...
Huh?
'Tis a foul injustice to strike against an unprepared opponent in a duel! Behold, for I shall allow thee a glimpse of the badass form that only the most renowned of fixers have displayed through the ages!
Seeing an opening, Don Quixote slammed into the arm with her full might, knocking it off its trajectory. Predictably, however, the sheer force of the maestro's attack instantly reduced her to a red sludge of flesh and bone, her remains crashing to the door.
Ready to initiate lockdown sequence. I will seal the door immediately upon your exit. Everyone to the door. Faust, retrieve the organic remnants of sinner number 3.
As Faust made her exit with what was once Don Quixote, students of the ring surrounded Kira, barring a way out. A hollow chuckle slipped out of her lips.
Called it for real. This is exactly why I didn't want to get involved.
Taking Kira back with us would mean having a sizable force of the ring trail right behind her through the door. Kira, too, seemed to have realized the risk that no one in their right mind would want to take. She lowered her head in defeat, as though she knew full well the fate that awaited her.
I'm such a dumbass. What was I thinking, diving in like that?
You! Don't just stand there! Get over here now!
Huh? But these guys are gonna come flooding in if I...
You TTM wanna get cleaved... You TTM wanna get cleaved in half again?
You pin this on me later, you're gonna pay.
Blocking the maestro's arm by a hair as it came down on her again, Kira hurled herself toward the door with every bit of strength she could muster. More than a few students rushed in through the doorway, chasing after the sinners who had gone in ahead, but...
Lockdown sequence complete. All backdoor links have been cut.
Fortunately, Alan managed to sever the connection between the two back doors before Maestro could cross over. Bowl cut. Think you can still use your arms?
I'm fine.
So she says. Kira would be a strong enough addition to fight for us, but the ring members that have managed to cross formed a rather sizable force. Fighting them off with just the sinners I have at my side would not be the best course of action. In that case, guys, I assume you're all available right now? As soon as I call out to the sinners, their voices come through Hohenheim's radio, one after another. Huh? I guess so?
Ready for your order, Executive Manager. I, Otis, am prepared to answer your call whenever and wherever.
Hang on! I just need to finish this bite!
Everyone to me!
시간과 공간에 계시는 관리자님이 들을진 몰라도 그때를 위해서 미리 응원을 녹음해야 한다는 거군요. 아, 이것도 녹음되고 있는지는 미처 몰랐네요.
적확한 그날이었어. 즐거움 언제나 순탄치 않았고 때로는
It's
어색했지만
like...
여러분과 함께하는 여행은 늘 제 마음을 설레게 만들었던
I used to always make that joke every single time. That's like, so I got that Silk song, huh? But like, it's been fucking months. I have not picked Silk song back up, like, at all. I really need to. I should do a stream where I play Silk song. Cause I didn't even get very far.
워프 열차 연산 시스템이 정리 방식의 선택이 적절했음을 판단했습니다. 훌륭합니다.
아, 여기서 이런 공격이 잘 먹히는군요.
매우 효과적인 선택입니다. 워프 열차 연산 시스템은 해당 행동의 약 14%의 정리 기여도가 있음을 판단했습니다.
너희의 무기로 이 혈투를 승리로 이끌 아류탄 소탕열 80 갈라지도록.
I think it's kind of funny, how different, like, I think it's, when it comes to, like, super violent, like, gory movies, especially banned ones, I think it's kind of funny how, like, different people, I think it's kind of different how, like, the difference between, like, people who are fans of, like, gory, fucked up, banned, violent movies, and fans of any gory, violent, fucked up, banned movie. Cause, like, a few days ago, I watched this one movie, that's, like, banned in 3 countries. I believe it's, I believe it's banned from distribution and possession in Norway, and there's like 2 other countries where distribution is banned. It's called Ichi the Killer. It's from 2001. And I watched it, and it's like really cool. I like it a lot. And it made me realize that it's kind of funny. People who are interested in like disturbing, like fucked up banned movies and whatnot as a genre will be like, this movie is so gory and violent, it is banned in multiple countries. And then you, like, that's how, like, people who are interested in, like, the general concept of gory banned movies will talk about it. And then, like, people who are fans of that movie specifically will be like, I think it's really cute when Ichi cries. Lucky for me, he's doing that throughout the entire movie.
It's only the first door, and the impediments are already beyond expected levels.
I swear! I thought that was it for me back there. Events of this nature won't be frequent. We're merely beset by ill luck.
If you just listened to me and picked another tour, we wouldn't have gotten cooked like that in the first place. Like, why do you drag me into this if you weren't gonna trust me? Weirdos.
We would have opened them all at the end of the day, SD.
SD? What's that?
Same difference.
Again, why shorten it like that? Just say duh or something. Or just spell it out and say it was anticipate.
That's W-A.
Huh? Good work, everyone. Wayfarer does have a team dedicated to this sort of task, but the mortality rate is quite high. Honestly, I was bracing myself for the worst. The odds of completing the first door of an expedition without any casualties are under 15%. This, by all measures, counts as a flawless expedition.
Tapping away at his device, Alan addressed us with an amicable smile. He seemed totally different from the same man who had manhandled Kira with a fist to her face. Those Fulvists won't be able to cross over anymore with the door completely locked down, right? Welcome to the stream. It's like that. 3 is actually pretty good. Considering, yeah.
That cannot be asserted with certainty.
You saying more might come? The corridors and back doors have always been the ring's turf, Clock. And those Fulvist beasts have endured as a long-standing faction with the ring.
If they've got that much history, they must know many back doors, both the origin and destination points.
Alan clarified what Ryoshi was hinting at.
Yes, compared to them, we lack sufficient knowledge of alternate routes, which makes it difficult to prevent infiltration.
No need to concern yourselves over much. Even if that were the case, it is unlikely it would move on to the House of Spiders so soon.
They can always rush for a surprise attack, though.
Even if that Fulvist Maestro seemed to lack clear intel on the event that took place at the House of Spiders. If so, it follows that they'll need time to assess and deliberate about the situation.
The situation?
The logical scope of their concerns will be identifying the organization that has secured the House of Spiders, the possibility of additional traps beyond the back doors, and the like.
Once all backdoor-related procedures are tied to the House of Spiders are completed, the resulting security framework should be able to preempt and block any infiltration attempts.
This operation is more important than I thought. That aside, why couldn't I draw the blade? Is it the new scabbard's fault? Ryoshi lifted the sheathed sword with an irritated frown. And that's when I felt a faint vibration. The blade was twitching ever so slightly.
That quivering most faint. 'Twas seen by all, indeed.
Damn, I saw it too. Is it possessed or something?
Looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the sword twitching, as though it wasn't pleased at all with how Ryoshi was talking about the scabbard. Ryoshi's gaze lingered on the sword before slowly shifting toward the back doors. Could it be that seeing the scabbard brought back some memory of Araya? Ryoshi, do you... Is it an SS? A demon edge? Or an enchanted blade? Which is it? It's probably neither of those. Nor is it a sentient sword. This presents a fine opportunity to conduct another examination of the sword. Excuse us for a moment, Team Leader Alan. Please feel free to go ahead. The attack just now damaged some devices, so we're going to have to perform some maintenance before continuing. There's plenty of other work for me to do while you're away, too.
Are we to return to the headquarters research facility, then?
No, that won't be necessary. There's a facility here that should prove more than adequate. What the fuck is that? Sound of a hammer driving a nail in, but what precisely is being driven in? The camera waylights the light of a given moment, then nails it onto rough paper exhibition. Okay, man. Sure, whatever you say. This really is a lot of reading. I'm starting to feel dizzy. God damn, I don't want to go into work tomorrow. I hate my job and I hate my boss and I have another fucking 8-hour shift tomorrow with that piece of shit I hate. Hohenheim brought us to what looked like a research lab, lined with cables, rows of screens, and diagrams full of complex symbols and shapes. I didn't know there was a place like this in the House of Spiders.
This is a forward base constructed by Limba's company following Operation Spiderpire. It did not exist prior to the house's fall. It is intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into irregular phenomena observed during the operation.
Irregular phenomena?
An example. Research subjects such as a spatial analysis of the correlation between the emergence of Sinner Number 11's sign and the manifestation of a possible future.
Oh. Looking around, I spotted Sinclair and a group of researchers surrounding him. The same people who had dragged him off earlier. They were accompanied by a gaggle of sinners who had tagged along either to watch the show or kill some time while they took a breather after work.
Hohenheim, how long will the examination be?
With Sinclair's biometric assessment concluded, the analyzer device should be available for the relic now, which means that it should be finished in an hour from now, at the latest. The scabbard rattled again at the mention of an hour. I don't know why or how. The way it swayed almost felt like a child trembling. It's moving again. Come along, Ryoshu. I expect you will want to witness the procedure. Fine. Ryoshu and Hohenheim headed off to the side. The examination was probably going to start immediately. Time to get to Sinclair, then. Wait. I was making my way towards Sinclair, who was getting bombarded with questions, when an unexpected figure behind a pillar caught my eye. Vespa! It was Vespa Crabro, with a big piece of paper covered in crooked handwriting taped on his back. Snack thief? Oh, manager.
Count on snacks. Mr. Stringbean ate up all of them.
Sorry, but I think there's been some misunderstanding.
Verg, kick his ass.
Not only is this matter not worth pointing fingers over, but Charon also shares some of the responsibility for leaving them out on the table unattended. Still, I would prefer if you exercise more care next time, or you'll put me in a tough spot. Understood. Charon.
Got on super silky mode engaged. Not talking for half a day.
Deploying super pass bitter candy.
Beep beep. Mode disabled.
I'm not sure if this is an appropriate request, but may I remove the paper from my back now? It's a little inconvenient for me.
Catalan forgives this time. Next time, no mercy.
This is the fabled Gap Moy. Best make sure she doesn't listen to that radio channel again. Virgilius looked on with an inscrutable expression as Karen peeled the snack thief sign off Vespa's back. Make sure to remember this, so I don't have to think I'm burning through what little candy chance I have left on some trivial nonsense. Thank you. Vespa gave a polite thanks, but he was already picking something off another plate and stuffing it into his mouth.
Wait a minute! I was saving that for later!
I assumed you were being picky.
Well, now you know! Yet I still see you gobbling up my share. Ugh, he took my stack, too. Vern, kick his ass!
Rodion Romanovic. I am aware that half the total snack budget allocated to each sinner is being funneled into your snack expenses. And now you're raiding the LCE supplies as well.
Chill. That's totes been agreed upon, okay? Besides, that's that and this is this.
lines on Virgilius's brow looked deeper than usual today. Hoping to help him out of his endless cycle of snack-related headaches and to satisfy my own nagging curiosity, I drew near our guide and broke his brooding silence with my TikToks. Well, you see, it's not gluttony, it's greed. There we go. But there's no greed in Limbus Company, so it doesn't show. That's why. Did we learn anything about Sinclair's sign?
Dante is inquiring about the outcome of the research on the sign.
I've heard from the researchers, but nothing of particular significance came out of it.
Observation of the sign has so far been limited to 2 individuals, the manager and Sinclair. Due to the limited accessibility to the phenomenon, the only verifiable information has so far been its existence. Researching that which cannot be observed is bound to be difficult.
Faust has a point. Aside from Sinclair, none of the sinners can actually see the sign. And the same would go for the researchers. Even Sonia said that only a select few people could perceive it.
If there were more individuals bearing signs, there would be a wider pool for comparative analysis of statistical samples to narrow down the scope. However, records indicate no suitable references exist. At present, the research effort is limited to reducing variables such as whether or not the irregular phenomena are tied to the location where the battle took place.
By individuals bearing signs, you mean like people like Damien and Sanson?
Wait! Then could those guys do what Sinclair did? Pull in some superpowered future self and just wreck everything? Even Sonia?
I should step in and put an end to the subject before Rhodia gets the blues. I don't think so. From what Ishmael and Faust reported back then.
Right. Sinclair from the future said each sign carries a different power, I think.
Maybe, those layers of light rings Damien used to finish off Cromer, or Sanson dragging us into his story. Those could be it.
Aye, that doth seem plausible.
So none of that is information we can confirm yet.
Correct. As you have stated, any discussion of this subject would not venture beyond the realm of wild speculation. Nothing has been proven yet. Ergo, fear would be an unnecessary response at present.
This is, at best, grounded in supposition, but it would seem that the researchers are coaxing forth a hypothesis from the vestiges left in the wake of Sinclair's future self.
Oh, that bit about the sign may be some singularity or whatever, yeah? The precise position of the hypothesis was that fundamental principles of the signs working may be equivalent to those of singularities or relics. But as no actionable evidence was obtained from Sinclair, there is presently no means by which this hypothesis may be validated. I see. Nothing came out of them dragging Sinclair off for that research.
Oh, you also thought I was being dragged off, but still let it happen anyway?
No! I mean... I'm kidding. Just thought I'd try going along with the mood. The old Sinclair wouldn't have even thought to joke around like that. He's really changed lately. For the better, I think? So, did anything happen that we should worry about?
I stuck close to him just in case. Nothing serious came up.
Just took some blood, a small skin sample. Oh, and they were also checking if the sign reacts to electrical stimulation. Yeah, and, I had to fill out some questionnaires, too. Things like, please describe what you remember from the battle exactly as it happened, or list the sensations you felt when you regained consciousness.
And your memories of that moment have yet to return?
No, I don't know if they'll ever come back, actually. Faust said they only exist with my future self, so... Wait, for my future self to even have those memories, shouldn't I carry them in the first place? which comes first?
A paradox, it would seem. In such a case,
that Sinclair is merely one branch among many possible futures.
if the future unfurls into boundless branches by means of ceaseless bifurcation, then the body of information that constitutes a certain future would scatter into grains more fleeting than dust, too diminished to ever reverse their course and trace their path back to the self that now exists. Is that the theory suggested?
Not a certainty, but a plausible interpretation.
Here you go again. All that nonsense only you lot understand. Oi, remember or not, that future guy still came out of him, didn't he? And some pine's gotta be left in there somewhere, yeah? Like muscle memory or whatever. Perhaps he can still pull off some of those tricks from back then.
Tricks from back then?
Heard you kicked off proper out there. You even pulled out that trick you picked up from that plastered old geezer, right?
Not just that. He was using that Mang technique quite effortlessly, too.
What? That glowing ring thing?
Yep, the glowing ring thing. He had 2 of them coiled around his weapon.
I used the glowing ring thing? This is the first time I'm hearing anything about it.
Alright, so what exactly is that glowing ring thing? Anyone?
Maybe some technique that enhances physical capability?
I mean, I guess that flashy arm that makes you real tough's one part of it. There's gotta be more, right?
Dunno. Could be a secret finger thing they passed down to their members. Technique, gear, something like that. Look at it. That black coney leader, that lay-hang prick. The nurse fathers we fought. Whole lot of them's finger, ain't they?
The notion seems to unravel, for even among the LCD, there were those who came to wield it.
And Virgilius, too.
So what? Only the proper-eyed bastards can use it. Some posh top-end trick, is it?
Without anyone particular prompting it, the sinners slowly turned their gaze toward Virgilius and Vespa.
I only learned to wield it from my team leader, too. I have a sensory understanding of Shin, but I can claim nothing too profound. However, what I can spare are some rumors, that they are all without proper source.
Rumors?
They circulated among elite fixers and association leadership. That there exists a power called Shin, capable of enhancing the body without having to pay expensive upkeep costs.
A rumor among fixers, sayest thou?
Yes, even the technique to manifest it. How-to tips, really. Spread through hearsay.
Oh yeah, that tracks. That super rookie column in the latest Mag bonus vid? Bro's really popping off with it. Straight up arm with a shiny Mag wrapped around the weapon.
It must be that mine eyes are yet to be privy to seeing such a marvel in a video.
Wait, you serious? It's in the latest issue, literally on the videotape in the back. Maybe you missed it?
Video tape? Alas, for many a week I have been stranded from Mephi, raving me of a chance to read not only the prior chronicle, but the latest one as well. Woe is me! When I return, I shall feast through the night upon those noble exploits of adventuring fixers! As Don Quixote dramatically spiraled into a state of utter dejection, Otis cut into the conversation, her gaze narrowing with suspicion. From what I recall, the mantle of Shin grants its users a high degree of physical enhancement. There is no such thing as reinforcement without supplies. No power of that magnitude comes without an equivalent cost to wield it. That power relies on emotion and will for manifestation. Its output is not consistent like prosthesis and augmentation. And depending on how it is used, the consequence it demands can reach levels comparable to the EGO you use.
You mean to say that it exacts a toll upon the mind?
I can walk you through the fundamentals if you'd like. From what I observed, it appeared to be a technique reserved for those of considerable strength. At our current level, is it not unreasonable to assume we could make use of it? Regarding that, our team leader has been conducting intensive research, and according to her, physical strength itself has little bearing on one's ability to learn and wield Shin. As the Yellow Harpoon says, it is, in essence, a power that can be learned by almost anyone, provided they know the proper method of training. Vespa's brows visibly twitched the moment Yellow Harpoon left Virgilius's lips. Yeah, doesn't seem like he's a big fan of his own title. The Yellow Harpoon. Well, it fits, I think. He's got those yellow stripes on his clothes. He uses a harpoon, too. Can you argue with that? If I were to exaggerate, even Sinner Yi Sang's pre-contract self could manage to learn it.
Why must this self of mine be chosen as the point of comparison?
Well, because you're the wimpiest one here.
Don't let it get to you.
Even so, it'd be a mistake to assume it's a power anyone can grasp with ease. As long as you are bound by contracts as sinners, your ability to wield it will be severely limited. Unless you rely on particular identities or come upon an extraordinary circumstance. Shame that. Would have been useful.
Hey, and what about me? Can I learn it too?
Kira, who'd been fidgeting with her fingers, raised an arm and asked as though she couldn't hold the question back any longer. I might end stream after this segment because I'm very sleepy. Hello, welcome to the stream. Yes, I have. Trust me. It was really crazy. My favorite part of Kanto 11 was when Otis actually she actually got her weapon like lodged in her asshole, and she had to like pull it out, and she fucking like fired it at the final boss covered in shit. That was really crazy. That was wacky.
Papa never taught me how to use it. He always said I could get stronger without a stupid crutch like that.
It wasn't that he didn't teach you. He couldn't. He was a man who probably had never once reflected upon his own sins. A piece of trash like him would be incapable of even comprehending such a power in the first place. Vespa's responses always come back dripping with venomous hatred whenever the conversation turns to the topic of the fingers. Kira must have noticed too. Or perhaps she simply couldn't perhaps she simply couldn't find the right words to push back. Either way, she held her tongue, her expression settling into a blend of frustration and something that looked a little too close to sadness. If you want to reduce it to a yes or no, then yes. We will be able to learn it with the odds in your favor. That is, assuming that the company decides to tolerate your continued existence.
I already said I get it.
As it stands, you're nothing more than a pending case of disposal. Closer to a threat than you are an ally, strictly speaking. Don't get comfortable because the manager and sinners treat you with lenience. Step out of line, and you'll be the one who pays the price. There was nothing in what Virgilius said that I could argue with. Kira had been a member of the House of Spiders. She murdered scores of LCE researchers, and left us with plenty of memories we'd rather not revisit. For now, we're just working together. Not contesting that decision doesn't mean we have no hard feelings towards her. Leaving Kira alone with her thoughts, the sinners slipped back into their own business. Snacks, idle chatter, and conversations about whatever happened around LCE. The examination is concluded. I suppose it won't be an issue to let you hear the results together. Before we knew it, Onheim and Ryoshi returned. I thought the new Otis ID was Matthias. That was a thing, right? I swear to God that was a thing. Did I hallucinate that? Why isn't... No, it's just not in the catalog. I did not hallucinate that. I did not hallucinate that. I did not imagine that. What the fuck? Oh, wait, no, there she is. I'm fucking stupid. She's not in the grade ones because I have her. Oh, I'm so fucking sleepy. I'm sorry to the people who, like, just showed up, but I think I'm going to close out of the stream early. Because I'm very tired. I don't want to just, like, not provide any funny commentary or whatever. I don't think that would make for a very fun stream for anyone involved. So I'm going to close out of the stream and I'm gonna get some rest. So thank you to everyone who showed up. I hope you all had fun because I know that I did, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye bye. Oh shit, I forgot to do the PNG tour. I guess that goes to show how tired I am. Yeah. Thank you very much. Bye bye.